I'm Chris Wisby, and I've always been passionate about maritime, well, anything maritime, really. You'd swear that topmast is going to scrape as we go under, wouldn't you? Look at that flag, look at that. Oh dear, I just looked up. It was a big mistake. It's a story of the best of times, the worst of times. Wait. The story of her rescue and restoration is an extraordinary one.
This is Midway VTS.
A story of hope, passion.
I'd never been aboard a sailing vessel, even a dinghy. I was a complete greenhorn.
There's boats from all over the world here.
We're just going to rotate around and then head out.
I'm sailing on a vessel that's nearly 150 years old.
Suddenly we came round the point and here's James Craig. I know she was just magnificent, sitting there looking as though, a little bit of work, she'll sail out of here, you see.
I think most of his fellows said that Alan's lost a marble or two.
She'll come out of the water and have her hull surveyed and inspected, and then we'll start the restoration on the hull itself.
When you look at a ship like this, where do you begin?
All of this has been done by our volunteers.
You know, that you have to have respect for the way they were put together.
You see a picture like this and it's so inspiring because you think, well, this is where we're going.
They need a lot of money to be maintained.
You've only got to ask, and people can say yes or no. And you just run with the yeses and forget the no's.
We're heading up Kent's largest waterway, the Midway, to catch up with a much-loved local hero.
They look so beautiful. Their paddle wheels churning the water.
There was that lovely smell of egg, bacon and sausages all through the lower decks.
But the busy summer seasons for the steamers were changing.
Midway Queen was transformed into a Navy ship.
I'm heading to France and the infamous place that made Midway Queen a war hero, Dunkirk.
Lots of smoke, the guns firing, and then as they got closer and closer, the tens of thousands of soldiers.
The stranded troops would have to be rescued.
And the guys just kept coming, hundreds of them.
She had truly earned her enduring title, the heroine of Dunkirk.
Paddle steamers disappeared over a period and suddenly were gone. Midway Queen became a disco. She just sat at the berth, the tide gradually washing bits of them away.
There was probably more plywood and concrete on the ship than there was steel. It was rotten as a pair.
After 4 years in the dry dock in Bristol, the rebuilt Midway Queen was ready to go home.
It's quite an emotional day, really. The feeling was elation.
The precious old May Queen today is being gently turned in preparation for an important little voyage. She's heading upriver to the slip yards.
How's that? Is that looking any better?
I remember seeing her over the years in a very dilapidated looking state.
The boats were the link with the outside world. At first it was very difficult to get round by land, so it was much easier to go by sea. They must have greeted the boat each time that it came down with enormous pleasure.
How 3 people could handle these vessels. I mean, quite often, 3 people can't handle a modern yacht. It's just amazing.
Below the paint, there wasn't much holding it together. It was a pretty dirty old mess.
She's a survivor when so many others completely disappeared. I think the designer and the builder would just be amazed if they could see her now.
I'm here to discover how the Cambria was saved and why.
A man, a boy and a dog. That was the crew of a sailing barge.
You're seeing at least a century of trial and error.
And when I heard there's a group of blokes got together, they're going to put the Cambria back to the sea again, I said, "Them bloody idiots, they'll never do that." And sure enough, they did.
We're getting there. We're winning.
There was no pretending about the risk. I mean, the risk was huge.
I felt shocked and amazed that we had to restore the ship.
It's so easy to scrap them or just let them fall to pieces.
If they're lost, we perhaps lose a little bit of ourselves.
There's just so many lovely moments when you get on board something like this. When you relive history, it just surrounds you, gets you excited. Thank you for having us on board, sir. Welcome.
Never been happier. It's life all over again.
People reckoned we was mad, we'd never get it up, but they got a shock when we did get her up.
It's easy. It's a nice life on water.
That ship gets you in. She really does, you know.
It's like man and machine in perfect harmony, I think.
It's magical. It really is.